So this will be my last video. It has been 2 months. On Monday it will be 2 months. I miss him a lot. After he passed in my arms, we ended up going home, obviously. It was a really hard night for us, the hardest night. Nothing will ever compare to that. The pain of childbirth will never compare to the pain after losing him. It will never compare. So the next morning we got woken up to a phone call from the doctor explaining that his blood work had come back and something with his metabolism was extremely high, which he thinks is due to what is called the MCAD deficiency. MCAD is, I don't know what it stands for, you'd have to look it up, but essentially it's a fault in your metabolism where you're not able to break down fatty acids. Typically it shows up in a little later in life, 3 to 6 months to even later than that, sometimes into teenhood, into adulthood. It is not very common for newborns to experience this at such an early stage. It is treatable, and it's not curable, but you can live with it. It's not something that kills everybody. As a newborn, because you are unaware of the newborn having MCAD, it is in the newborn screening test. However, the newborn screening test results don't come back right away. And by the time he had passed away, the results came back the next day. So it took that long for the results to come back, and that's typical with the newborn screening blood work. So because he was unable to break down all the fatty acids, it essentially just poisoned his blood, and that's the best way I describe it. That's the way it makes the most sense to me, because that's why his heart stopped, because his blood was essentially poisoned from his metabolism not breaking down the fatty acids, and his heart just stopped. It gave up on him, and because of that, he was never able to come back. So it's scary. Me and Jacob are both carriers. We found out later of this MCAD deficiency. Recessive carriers, obviously, but because of that, we have a 1 in 4 chance of having a 25% chance of having a baby with the MCAD deficiency. And then for him to have it as an infant is even more rare. So yeah, that is what happened. Obviously we miss our baby, but we're doing okay now. We got through the worst part, which was the first month. Like I said in the beginning of this video, there is nothing like, I would go through an unmedicated birth 20 times over just to have him. The pain of not having him is so incredibly unbearable. There are a lot of resources that have helped us. Obviously, a lot of you know the GoFundMe, the meal train, it's greatly helped us. I go back to work on Monday, and hopefully that will help us kind of go back to a semi-normal life.